Going on to you Capricorns. So there's a link in the comment section called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to financially support the channel, so I can most definitely keep the show going. Shout outs to everybody that has come through so far. But for you Capricorns have the Temperance, the Chariot, and the Hierophant. All right, these three cards. So okay, so for you Capricorns, right, these three cards right here pretty much speaks to how it is that you are very much so learning how to trust yourself above everything else. At the end of the day, you can listen to what it is that other people have to say, but you Capricorns are supposed to know. This is what the cards are saying. This is what the message is. You Capricorns are supposed to know you can trust yourself. So you can give yourself permission without having to feel like you will be disrespected, you know what I mean, for trusting yourself. A lot of people may not like the fact that you trust yourself, so now it's an issue. So now it's an issue. So now they got to turn it into something else. No, you Capricorns know good and well that it's okay for you to finally be able to trust yourself. So a lot of you Capricorns have an understanding that because of it, you will be able to live your life and rub people the wrong way, but not necessarily be so insecure or worrying about rubbing people the wrong way. And to be quite honest with you, I think you Capricorns very much so have the right idea. And a video is going to be coming out about that probably in a Capricorn video. But I made a video that I'm actually waiting to upload, one long one, 2 segments, Capricorn in this, talking about why it is that it's a good thing that you're not really so worried about offending a lot of people. Because there's way too many people in society that's way too sensitive anyway. And that oversensitivity is what's messing up a lot of individuals anyway, because you can't be so sensitive, otherwise you won't actually get anything done. If you're so worried about the opinions, right, the onions, but the opinions of how it is that people think so much, you Capricorns won't actually achieve anything. So, and we're going to get into that in today's video, because the Three of Swords and the Knight of Cups represents, because what happens when you do decide to actually start taking people a little bit too seriously is that you get sent off, you get misdirected. They tell you lies, they run mind games, you know, they tell you pieces of wrong information that, you know, they don't know about a particular topic or the question or something that you want to know. So they just come up with some stuff on the fly. Like, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. I won't say most, but a lot of people do not know what it is that they're talking about. They don't do the research. They don't actually read. They don't do any of that type of stuff. But then they want to be taken seriously. You can't be taken seriously unless you read. You can't. I'm telling y'all, Capricorn, the answers and the secrets to how, if you want to be taken more seriously, you have to read. You have to have an informed understanding of the things that you're saying and you're doing. You have to do things intentionally. Because if you don't do those 3 things, you will be considered an idiot. And that's exactly what it is that those people are. They are an idiot. Because, and what I mean when I say those people, I'm talking about the people that you've known from the past, your exes. They will come out and they'll have these very extreme ideologies and opinions about you, right? And essentially everyone has their own opinion, but it'll never actually be, most of the times, I ain't gonna say never, but most of the times it will not actually be correct, because it will be coming from a very skewed or a very ideological or conflated place. They're not essentially experiencing you the correct way. They're experiencing you from a colored lens of their own perspective and what it is that they perceive about you based upon their emotions. So instead of them being able to actually sit back and assess the situation, They're paying attention more to their own emotionalism. And that's a problem for you Capricorns. Why? I'm getting kind of thick with this, but like, what am I trying to say, right? Because I'm getting kind of, I'm getting kind of metaphysical, but I'm going somewhere with this. What I'm trying to say about this is, Capricorn, the idea that you're learning how to actually trust yourself, and you're learning that you can most definitely hear other people's perspectives as to how it is that they perceive you, and get to know other people, but no one will know you like how it is that you know you. People can get a better idea. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. So anyway, like it is that I was just talking about. So, I think that's my, okay, cool. So, that's cool. One of my packages came. But anyway, so as it is that I was talking about, right? I'm going metaphysical in the sense that a lot of you Capricorns are learning how to trust yourself. And that you realize that other people's perspectives of you, your ex's perspectives of you, this is what it is that you're learning to detox from. You're detoxing from the false ideologies that your exes, your dysfunctional exes, have about you. Those projections that those people put onto you. The Fool and the Nine of Cups here represents how, because this is very much so a situation for you where you Capricorns are learning to shed that old messed up idea about yourselves and realize that that's not even really who it is that you are. You know what I mean? Because far too often people have said things about me that is totally not even hitting the mark, like totally untrue. They'll be like, you use people like toys. And I'm like, I'm a Sigma. I don't like controlling other people, and I don't like people controlling me. What using people like toys? Which implies trying to control other people. Like, why do you think that I'm such a touch and go type of guy? Why do you think I'm so, like, even though I'm an earth sign, I have the ability to be like an air sign where it's like I'm kind of detached and kind of, trying to be cool with people, but not really, you know what I'm saying, be so attached and just kind of do my own thing as a loner, because I don't want to control people and I don't want people to control me. So it's like that, if that's how it is that you are experiencing me, come on now, stop. That's gaslighting. Come on now. I've had people who will be like, oh, I'm forceful and all this other type of stuff. And it's like, come on now, stop. Ain't none of that. What it is that you're always going to come up with an excuse because you're ditzy. That's all. Because there's always some form of an excuse. This, if you, they say the same thing about you Capricorns, about how you're forceful. It's always some crap. It's always some excuse why it is that they can't be functional adults. It's always, because they'll say that you're forceful. Then if you're not forceful, then they'll try to run all over you. Then if you're not forceful and not trying to run all over you, then they'll ignore you, or they'll go out of. It's always some form of disrespect. It's always some form of shame, insult, guilt, the need to be right. It's always some cognitive dissonance. And a lot of you Capricorns are learning that. So this is ultimately like a fresh new start for a lot of you Capricorns. Moving forward. Being refreshed. The Nine of Cups. Being completed. The 9 represents completion. Being completed. What? The false ideologies about yourselves finally being able to actually look at yourself from a better perspective. Not looking at it from a perspective of like you're dysfunctional automatically or heartbreak just because other people told you that. Because there's this saying about how it is that, you know, when enough people tell you some stuff, then it means it is true. Once again, Capricorns, and this is why it is I love this channel, right? Once again, Capricorns, you have to understand, you have to analyze everything. You have to look into everything. You know, you have to do the research into everything. And what I mean by that is, you know, that's a kernel of the truth. And you know, that's a real kernel of the truth in the sense that just because a lot of people may tell you that you know something about you Capricorns and whatnot, doesn't even necessarily mean that that's really true. Really, it may mean that that's what it is that people see about you, and it may start with the kernel of the truth, right, with the whole forceful thing. But it's like, what it is I'm not necessarily being forceful. I'm not necessarily trying to control people. What it is I'm just trying to have conversations. I'm just trying to get to know people. And it's always some form of an excuse. It's always, if I don't take advantage of another person, then they'll try to take advantage of me. If I don't treat the person terribly, then they're going to try to treat me terribly. And it's this race of, well, I got to disrespect you before you disrespect me. We got to prove who's the alpha out of the two. But then when I'm treating you like a human being and with decency and respect, and I really am just talking to you like a regular human being. I don't care what you're into romantically. I don't care about your skin tone, your eye color. I don't care about any of that stuff as far as holding it against you. I want to learn about your different language. Now it's like you don't know how to move. You don't know how to act. You know, you seem to have this chip on your shoulder. You seem to have this problem. It's like that type of nonsense. And it's the same thing with you. It's the same. I'm using myself as an example to show you what I'm talking about, that it doesn't just happen to you, because that's one of the worst things in the world is when you think that something only happens to you. Then you begin to feel paranoid, like, do other people go through this, or is it just you? It's not just you, Capricorn. It isn't just you. So a lot of you Capricorns are actually getting over the dysfunction of thinking that you're always the one at fault. The best thing that you Capricorns will do is the Ten of Wands, walk away. The next time you start to see how people start to act up, you will most definitely begin to walk away. The Four of Wands and the Five of Cups here represents, because the situation for you is you can't allow yourself to be caught up with other people's delusions. That's where your own identity and other people's projection of your identity begin to blend, and you can get confused in that. The Four of Wands and the Five of Cups is how it is that, you know, you Capricorns know good and well that you're looking for love. You Capricorns know that you're looking for love. You know that you're looking for the real deal, the Five of Cups. But I'm going to be perfectly honest and truthful with you. You're going to have to learn to walk away from the majority of the people that you come across, because most people are not open to actual love. When you showing them that you are, love makes a coward out of the most gangster and out of the most hardcore of people. I'm telling you. Because Capricorn, when you showing people that you can love them, you ain't even, see, that's one thing too. When you start talking about love, that goes to show you how most people are not ready for this thing. Because when you start talking about love, most people start wilding out. They start thinking, well, you know, from a romantic perspective. And that is a part of it. You know, that can be a lane that a person can go, but it can also be friendship. There's different types of love. There could be friendship. There could be romance. There could be family members. You know, you don't love your family members the same way that you do your romantic interests. Of course you don't. So you know what I'm saying? Like people start needing to split hairs and start acting like they don't understand what it is that you're talking about because they're not open to it. So now you Capricorns have to remind yourselves that most people are not going to be open to love. So, but guess what? You don't have to be, you're not trying to get most people, right? Quote unquote. You're not trying to get that. You're trying to get one person that's your special somebody that is a good match for you. So let's clarify the Five of Cups. All right, Capricorn. So for you, you have the Moon, Seven of Cups, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, and then you have the Four of Wands, which you already have. So for you Capricorns, the Moon and the Seven of Cups represents, you know, ghosting anyone that you know right now that you have interacted with that isn't open, that you can tell. Like you Capricorns are getting to a point where you'll be able to actually, you're beginning to be able to understand when someone isn't even open for the prospect of love. They're not really open for it. They're just looking at love like a transaction. That's not what it is. Because if they thinking that's what love is, they're going to get jammed up. The Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands now represents how, and they more so want to get something out of you than being just straightforward with you. And you Capricorns are able to know that that's the wrong thing. And the Four of Wands represents because you have a clear picture of what it is that you Capricorns want. So overall, what I'm seeing here for you is that you're being able to get better at seeing who's real and who's not, and disappearing from those people's lives. And the way that you Capricorns are now, it's much of a cleaner thing. It's not so much of a disrespectful, a disrespectful separation where the two of you have to go through disagreements or like have friction and beef with one another to a certain extent to get to some level of understanding as to whether those people are really interested in you long term or not.